This video is presented to you by www.testprepadda.com. Dear students, in the previous video lecture, I talked about average speed and instantaneous speed. In this video lecture, I will talk about average velocity and instantaneous velocity. To understand this, first I'll talk about position vector and displacement vector. Now, what is position vector? Position vector locates the position of a given object. This position vector in some cases is also known as radius vector. Now consider in a given frame of reference X, Y, Z. In this given frame of reference, this is origin O. If an object is at point A, the object is at point A, and I join this origin to point A by a straight line, and I put an arrow like this towards the position of the object, then we get position vector OA, position vector OA of the object. This is position vector. Okay, now this is the position of the object at time t1, let us say. The time, let us say t1, and at time t2, the position of the object, let us say is B. Then OB represents final position vector, that is at time t2. OA I'll say as initial position vector, and OB I'll say as final position vector. Initial position vector and final position vector. Now if I join the initial position A to final position B like this, then AB, this AB vector is actually a displacement vector. This is the displacement vector. Now recall the chapter vectors. There we did the vector addition. Here you can say vector OA plus vector AB is equal to vector OB. So to get vector AB, what will you do? Vector AB, that is the displacement vector, can be obtained by OB minus OA. Now as I told you many times, the position vector is also known as radius vector. If I write this as R1 and this as R2, then AB vector, that is displacement vector, can also be written as R2 minus R1. Got the idea? Since the initial and final positions are fixed, the displacement will be independent of the path. You can adopt any path. Actual path taken in going from A to B is not important in calculating displacement vector. Now, this displacement has taken place in the time interval t2 minus t1. Time interval is t2 minus t1 and the displacement vector is r2 minus r1. So what will be average velocity? Average velocity, or better I say average velocity vector. It will be displacement vector, that is r2 minus r1 upon the time interval, that is t2 minus t1. Got the idea? This is average velocity vector. Since displacement is a vector quantity, the average velocity is also a vector quantity. Now I will talk about instantaneous velocity vector. We have written the average velocity vector as r2 minus r1, that is the displacement vector upon time interval t2 minus t1. So this I can write as delta r upon delta t. Now in order to find instantaneous velocity, take the average velocity over a very small time interval, means delta t tends to 0, then V average becomes V instantaneous, and we represent this with dr by dt. Got the idea? So V average, that is delta r by delta t. With the help of this, if I write V instantaneous, then it will be limit delta t tends to 0, delta r by delta t, which we write as dr by dt. Now if our displacement vector, or better I say if the position vector r is given, if the position vector r is given as xi cap plus yj cap plus zk cap, then dr by dt will be dx by dt plus dy by dt plus dz by dt k cap. And here this dx by dt actually represents rate of change of coordinate x. dy by dt represents rate of change of coordinate y. dz by dt represents rate of change of coordinate z. Got the idea? And if I talk about the direction of instantaneous velocity vector, if I talk about the direction x, y, z, if I take, Consider this as the initial position, this as the final position of the object. Now, this will represent the displacement vector. If the path adopted is this. Now, since to get instantaneous velocity vector, we have to take the time interval very, very small. So, if we go on reducing the time interval like this, let us say this, consider this as time t here, and here t plus delta t. So we have to reduce this time interval delta t. So if we go on reducing like this at time t, it becomes the tangent to the path. It becomes tangent to the path. Got the idea? So the direction of instantaneous velocity vector is actually the direction of the average velocity vector. And that is why this magnitude dr by dt will be equal to ds by dt, or better you say the instantaneous velocity vector at a time t is actually equal to average velocity vector. Got it? Now read this statement. If an object moves with constant velocity, then its speed, instantaneous velocity, and average velocity, these all will be equal. Do you think that this statement is correct? Mail me your comments at teacher@testprepadda.com. Now another statement. You and your friend are going with speed of 5 meter per second, but your speed is 5 meter per second due east, and your friend's speed is 5 meter per second due south. Is your velocity equal to your friend's velocity? Now again, mail me your comments at teacher@testprepadda.com. In the next video lecture, I'll talk about multiple velocity vector and variable velocity vector. And also, we will take few questions to understand the concept of average velocity and instantaneous velocity. Thank you. This video is presented to you by www.testprepadda.com. TestPrepAdda.com provides free audio-visual lectures of different subjects by expert faculties, free online tests prepared by expert faculties to students who are preparing for engineering or medical entrance exams or planning to take exams like KVPY, Olympiad, etc. It provides a platform where students can interact with mentors to improve their performance in the exams. The mission of this online medium is to help students to achieve their goals. Log on to www.testprepadda.com to watch free video lectures on different topics, to download free revision notes, to take free chapter-wise online tests, progressive test, and mock test, to discuss doubts with mentors. Thank you for watching the video. To stay up to date with the latest videos, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Like us on our Facebook page, Test Prep Adda. All the best.